The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Jesus and his disciples went into the region of Judea, where he spent some time with them baptizing. John was also baptizing in Enon near Salim, because there was an abundance of water there, and people came to be baptized, for John had not yet been imprisoned. Now a dispute arose between the disciples of John and a Jew about ceremonial washings. So they came to John and said to him, "Rabbi, the one who is with you across the Jordan, to whom you testified, he is baptizing, and everyone is coming to him." John answered and said, "No one can receive anything except that what has been given from heaven. You yourselves can testify that I said that I am not the Christ, but that I was sent before him. The one who has the bride is the bridegroom. The best man who stands and listens for him rejoices at the bridegroom's voice. So this joy of mine has been made complete. He must increase, I must decrease." The Gospel of the Lord. Have you ever run in a relay race? I'm sure you think back, maybe even in school, on a track team or something, or maybe at some festival, maybe many years ago like me. But have you ever run a relay race? And when you run your leg of the race, you take that baton and you've given it your best, and at the end of your leg, you give that baton to the next person. And even though you're tired, you're excited, you're happy for the person you just gave the baton to, you want them to do their absolute best. You want them to run the race the rest of the way and maybe even win the race, which would be great. And so you find the energy and the joy, excitement to wish that for the other person, even though you're exhausted. And that attitude is kind of like a description of John the Baptist's attitude in today's gospel. He's run his leg of the race. He's done a great job. He's proclaimed the Christ like he was supposed to. That was the mission that God gave him, and he's done a really good job doing it. He's come in the spirit of Elijah, the great prophet of ages past, and he's proclaimed the good news to people. He's called them to repentance. He has an incredible reputation and a huge following of disciples, and he is happy. He is joyful that Christ is now here and taken his disciples and going on with his mission. Jesus now has the baton, so to speak. But John the Baptist's disciples are not so excited. The ones that are still with him, it's like they're jealous. Jesus is 30 miles downstream in the Jordan, and his disciples are baptizing. And they want John the Baptist to do something about it. And John, he's really happy that Jesus is there doing his thing, and he doesn't know, but soon he will be arrested by Herod and put to death at the request of Herodias, Herod's wife. And so John tells his disciples, says, he must increase. Jesus must increase. I must decrease. And it's an incredible act of humility that we hear coming out of John the Baptist, recognizing how he is a servant of Christ. St. Thomas Aquinas has a commentary on John, the Gospel of John, and in there he talks about how Jesus needs to grow inside us. The more we come to know and love Jesus, the more we act like Jesus, the more Jesus comes in us, and the more people see Jesus in us by the way we act. And so here's just a little bit of that commentary. It says, "It is necessary for Christ to grow in you." So Christ to grow in each of us. Think about that. And it is necessary for you to this Christ growing in us. It's necessary for you to progress in your knowledge and love of Him. For the more you know Him and love Him, the more He grows in you. Therefore, people who advance in this way need to have less self-esteem, because the more a person discovers God's greatness, the less importance he gives to his own human condition. And that's a beautiful description, and it describes John the Baptist so good, so well. I mean, Christ was in him so much that many people thought he was the Messiah, and he flatly denies it, but because Christ was living in him so much. And so today, as we think about it, we could do an attitude check. We could see, how does our attitude mirror John the Baptist's attitude? How are we like John the Baptist? And maybe we could daydream or contemplate or reflect a little bit during the day. What would our church be like if we had more people with an attitude like John the Baptist?